Greetings, Star Family and Soul Tribe. Anistara Ma Ka here, mother of 1111 Unified, today with the beautiful Celestine Star and Maia Monasterios. Ladies, I would love for you each to introduce yourself for a moment before we get started into our conversation. So, Celestine, can you tell us a little bit about who you're being in the world?
Yes, I have been called a woman of divine grace. I like that. I am blessed with knowledge and wisdom and expertise in many fields of endeavor. Some people call me an alpha woman, where we do many different things. I have many arms. Um, some of the things that I offer or connect to is metaphysics, the ancient Egyptian alchemy, the sacred Native American medicine wheel, trained in many different religious arts, did many studies, 20 years of studies in all the religions of the world. So I carry with me not only being raised in metaphysics, so the great mystery, the women mysteries, I'm just truly, truly blessed. I also experienced a near death experience at 6, went through the light, met celestial beings, and after the reading of my life, I ended up in the Godhead.
Mm,
So I carried with
mm,
me a beautiful basket straight from the center of creation for all of you today, and just
mm.
that emanation of pure divine love. I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you, Anastara. And with that, I have also through my years have coming or kept my experience with the celestials, and am working with celestial healers right now on the planet,
Mm.
interfacing with different practitioners, getting that level of healing for humanity uh, into the sacred hands of those who are ready. And
Mm.
I also do have a group I founded, not only the Temple of Light in 1986, but now have the Galactic Earth Council. We do a lot of work with the interstellar people. We're bringing it forward for you in a sacred way. So, my purpose is to elevate consciousness here on the planet and to keep the way sacred. Thank you.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you for your beautiful share and all that you're being in the world. We need you
Nay,
right now. We're all going
um,
through so much, and that's what this conversation is going to be about. So amazing. Maya, honey, can you share?
Of course. Oh my gosh, Celestine, we have so much in common. We're like
yeah.
weaving in the astral and all the worlds. Yeah, for me, my journey started off actually being initiated by like great trauma at a young age. So I had like a childhood near death experience, opened up to great psychic gifts and opening to all the different realms. But then it took a long time to integrate that experience. And my
Mm,
path has been like being able to bring the light back into the darkness. So it's been a combination of shadow work and light work. A lot of it was through storytelling. So I started finding myself drawn to storytelling, feeling like I had keys to help people rewrite their story from trauma, from the darkness back to the light, the hero's journey.
mm,
So that took me into actually becoming a very successful filmmaker and TV producer. I worked for National Geographic, MTV, NBC, a lot of mainstream media, but basically, and as an award-winning filmmaker, I was kind of a lone shaman. I was a media shaman. I was kind of working behind the scenes to basically like put beautiful, transcendent messages that were of my own journey of overcoming trauma into these stories. But I definitely felt like, okay, I'm not alone. I know there are other people out there. Clearly, Celestine's here. And so it took me some time to find my tribe. But since doing that, I left that world of full-time living in New York City and LA and kind of in the media world and started working for Gaia, Gaia.com, and producing and directing conscious, like solely conscious awake media. As well as working for the Illuminate Film Festival, where we actually find the up and coming media producers that are awake and putting through these codes into the art that helps to activate and awaken humanity at this time. And along with that, have created my own independent production company called Luminous Stories, where we actually create shamanic journey films. And these films essentially take people on kind of meditation journey to activate the codes that are innate within us. I've spent decades also working with, shamans, mystics, adepts, several esoteric mystery schools, also very deeply studied in the Egyptian ways. I'm going to be actually going to Egypt for another activation coming up next week. So I'll be bringing back those codes into our masterclass. Very excited about that. So really awake and alive to all of my multidimensional perception, and really finding the way to make a bridge, right, to this world. Because for me, ascension is not about leaving and going somewhere else. Like we are divine souls choosing to be here for a reason. And so for me, it's about bringing the light all the way in and aligning to our divinity as human beings, as spiritual beings in human form, and doing the great work that we're meant to do here to bring heaven on earth. So I bring just all the different practical codes to anchor that and live a soul-led life, totally aligned with source and being guided from that inner compass, rather than seeking guidance and validation outside of ourselves, which is the old paradigm and the old conditioning. So I'm just really grateful to be among sisters on this path and journey.
Yay.
Thank you, Anistara, for inviting me.
Of course, my pleasure. And so the masterclass that Maia was just mentioning is our next Portal Day transmission. It is on 5/5/22, so May 5th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and you'll be able to find the link in the comments below. And so one thing I want to do is invite all of you to just comment. Let us know, was there something that in their story that resonated with you? I know that I'm personally feeling the collective right now. And so I know so many of you are empaths and compassionate beings on your awakening path. And that means feeling the weight of the world sometimes, feeling that weight on our shoulders. Yesterday I was watching Russell Brand, and I came upon a video of the people in China, and that the fact that they've been locked down since April 1st, and the screaming that's coming from their balconies at night, just saying that they're starving. And just literally it broke my heart. And I was driving home at the time, and I started screaming. I just needed that primordial scream of what the hell is going on? And really? This is happening right now? And so the mother in me was just sending so much love and compassion to these people who are going through this right now. And I wasn't sure if I was going to mention this, but it is such a potent time right now, and as humanity we need to stand up to the light and be our sovereign selves and shine as best we can during this time of oppression and just prejudice and all the things that we're going through as humanity. And so as I was sitting with the codes of 5/5 and 2/2, I really started listening in deeply, and I know that 5/5 is a master number. It represents adventure, independence, self-sufficiency, or sovereignty. It also means self-determination, and it's about our freedoms. And it's the fact that there's going to be major life changes coming. And with major life change means that there's new beginnings. So we're manifesting a whole new phase in our life. And if we're guided to make positive changes, all of us can benefit from it. And so that those positive changes come from being aligned with source, coming from love and compassion and acceptance. And then the number 14, which is 5 + 5 + 2 + 2, the number 14 is associated with the planet Mercury. And so it symbolizes travel, exploration, undiscovered and undisclosed territory. So I'm not talking about getting on a plane and going somewhere. I'm talking about internal travel, going up to the Galactic Federation and speaking with our guides and our ancestors and our archangels. And so with that comes great knowledge. And the vibration that's associated with 14 is philosophy, religion, science, and art. It indicates intense energies, but that they could be destructive energies if they're not directed to the light. And so we need to remember to keep directing our energies. And we could go through the trauma and release it, but to keep directing our energies in a positive way and towards, having that new earth within our heart first and foremost, so that our thoughts and our words and our actions follow suit. And so it's really important to have deep introspective examination on what's going on right now. And the spiritual embodiment practices are key to grounding that information and riding the waves that we're all going through. And so the mastermind is about activations for ascension. What are some of the tools and the ways that we can create embodiment practices daily in our life to help ground us through this chaos? Because from chaos, that mixing cauldron, comes something beautiful. And so 14 invites us to stay centered, to understand karma and the karmic loop and karmic debt, and that everything that goes out comes back around. And so we're starting to really see that. And ultimately, it's to achieve life of balance and harmony. And so our mastermind is called Divine Harmonics. And we're going to be going through activations for ascension. These two beautiful goddesses are going to be two of our speakers, as well as Jennifer Ashira Ra from the Light Priestess Temple. So I may be speaking to the men, but I feel like this is going to be a predominantly female mastermind, but everyone is welcome and invited. And ladies, with all of that, I know that you definitely have some things to share, maybe a little snippet of what you're feeling and going through, and then maybe like a little mini activation to give an idea of what we'll be sharing in the mastermind. I know that was a lot, so thank you. Either one of you can jump in first.
Feel free.
Well, first of all, I just want to bow to you very deeply, because it takes a lot to bring it forth and to be authentic. And I appreciate you sharing with us what's happening behind the walls of China. And I carry the wisdom of the bio labs that they're finding in Ukraine, and the chimeras, or the creatures, literally thousands, 2,000 to 3,000 children that have been used, tortured, mutilated, what have you. They have the pictures. I'm receiving images of a half child, half lion, still living. They call them the chimeras when they've been engineered with other types of mammals, or other types of beings, and it is the saddest. So I carry that in my heart, and I send prayers out. But I'm so grateful for those brave men who special forces went in and they shut down these labs. Literally, it's not just playing around with plagues and different viruses and mixing up for the population. You see, it's literally women having to have babies with animals, and half animals, half humans, or whatever they choose to impregnate her with. So we have the darkness of the world, the reverse consciousness, that which takes us down to the lower levels. And it's affected me in the sense that I understand we're here for eternity. That's what gives me the hope that we can get through this. This has been going on since the 80s, because we knew that there was Dulles Air Force Base in America, and they were down so many miles down. This one had 20 stories down, the labs with the children and such. But you have DOMs and places where all of this stuff has been hidden. for 70 years they've been working on these different things, and they have off-planet assistance. And so my part in this, having been a wife of the special forces that was overtop one of these things, I
Mm.
have been stepping forward and saying no. And my work has been to work with the interstellars and bring the light, just as you, Maya,
Mm.
bringing the light in you, Anistara, to anchor the goodness. I
Mm.
recognize for myself, and this is another hope, there are two timelines.
Mm.
One is of the reverse consciousness, lower frequency, the control, the depopulation, the taking people over the edge, over the cliff, into the AI world of metaverse, in which we will be entrapped through the satellite workings. And there's just, I could talk about the smoking mirrors, but and then the other one takes us up to the natural unfoldment of the evolution of the planet.
Mm.
The whole planet is now taking on more energies. You can check the Schumann resonance if you're a scientist. It is modulating. It is no more staying at the 7.83 when the solar winds or the galactic
Solar
winds hit
flares.
the earth, and it vibrates as a bell, and they modulate, and they take those readings. Now we're up to 300, 3,000. We are taking on so much light, and it's affecting me in the sense that I'm more sensitive. Like I can feel the screams, I can feel the cries, or I go, okay, this is happening. And my heart goes to these children, and my heart goes to the women, and to those who are suffering. Absolutely. The Buddha consciousness, the Kuan Yin
Mhm.
consciousness, right? So I spend my time in the center of the earth, and this is a gift to all of you. In the center of the earth, your words of wisdom cannot be broken. If you go into the crystalline core, if you go in as your divine self, so whatever you're speaking to empower the earth, it is given from a place of love, compassion, truth, balance, harmony, and joy. And
Mm.
so whatever you place in there is indestructible. So I spend my time, when I see something that's just overwhelming for me, and I get overwhelmed, then I place an empowerment for the earth, for the humanities, to come back to uh, their center, to
Mhm.
call forth the leaders to help us to step forward and take down the leaders, or dismiss the leaders that are improperly guiding humanity. Whatever comes to me. The other thing is to envision. So I say to you, if you could choose one thing to envision for the world as a better, whether it's water, it's the earth, it is your town, your city, just focus on that envision and build it strong so that the universe can manifest it. And because the vibrations and the frequencies are so high, the moment you're thinking of it, it starts to manifest. And so I love Anastar when you were talking about you bring it into your heart and bring the light in, because whatever you see, the heart is the projector screen. So if you have one thing, not only for your life to envision and what you need, it's what we need, not what we want. If you want something, the universe says, oh, maybe 100 years from now. But if you need it, it loves us so much. It gives us everything
Mhm.
we need and more. So I want
Mhm.
to give that, and toning and chanting. The frequencies
Mhm.
are here. Get into
Yeah.
the frequencies, understand them, study them. These frequencies, 438, 528, these higher frequencies for the crown and opening the chakras. And I say, wake up in the morning and align yourself to the North Star, bring it all the way into the earth and back up to the
Mhm.
heart. And that to start your day with an alignment of your divinity.
Yes.
So, with that,
Yeah.
I just send blessings of love from my divine heart, and also offer you Shalinar. Shalinar is a celestial healer. You can call upon her. We just did a group of 10, 20 people, 10 of them practitioners, and they all had experiences of her. And so I give that to you now. So may you walk
Mm.
in peace, glory, and the light of the radiant one.
Mm. Ashe.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love, that grounding rod into the crystalline core where
Yeah.
we need to really just
Yep.
work with Mama Gaia.
Yep. Pure
That's
water. Put it in the earth. Pure water. Blue skies.
That's baseline.
Yeah, and blessing the water before
Yes.
you
And
speak
blessing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Envision whatever your focus is. If each of
Mhm.
us does one focus to bring something manifest, it's easier than trying to bring the whole world into
Yeah.
later we join together. We all join together too.
Well, our individual
Amen.
work is our
Yes,
collective,
our
right? So
Exactly.
we're doing the healing
This is-
internally, but it's happening in the field.
Yeah.
This is exactly the work that I do. Thank you for saying that, Anistara,
Mhm.
because for me it's all inner alchemy. All of it's inner alchemy. And so
Yes.
much of it, people say what we resist persists, but like I think that really what that saying is trying to do is if we're pointing outward and we're not actually going where can I take responsibility for myself and the collective? What am I that I'm witnessing? What in me is happening that also reflects that? What's in resonance? What can I alchemize and make peace with inside of my own self so that I can walk peace in the world? Because we
Mhm.
can't actually bring blessings and prayers to the world if we're not doing that inner work, if we haven't forgiven the people that have caused us harm, or we have not let go of our inner traumas, then actually, even if we're trying to help, we're actually feeding the polarity on this planet. And so, a lot of what I like to focus on is how do we reach unity consciousness? We have to come to neutrality. We have to come to compassion for all things, the light and the dark. So it's not one or the other. When we do one or the other, we actually just feed the polarity. So one of the practices I love to do, and I love that you mentioned again 5-5, because 5-5 to me, I just want to say is about radical transformation. It's like 180. It's like going to another dimension of existence, right? So with divine harmonics, it's about attuning to the timeline, like you said, Celestine, where this is not a reality. Attuning to the timeline where this is already healed, and feeling that in every cell of our being, like really knowing that exists already. Even with what we're witnessing, there is a transcendent place. And again, it's not about escaping to that place. It's about finding that place inside of us, finding that place of peace and warmth inside of us that then can be the mother, the great mother to all, the great mother to ourselves. And for me, I find that in my heart. I find the portal to God, Goddess, to the infinite universe in my heart. So when I can connect to the Kuan Yin, the spiritual, source, in that place, everything is alchemized. In that place, in the arms of that divine feminine, everything is sort of brought back to wholeness. And all of these peoples, all of the conflict in the world is the parts of our collective psyche that have not been brought back to wholeness. They're the parts that have been stuck in some kind of projection field trauma, and they're recycling that in how they're behaving in the world. So my practice is often like starting within, right? So going in and looking for the part of me that maybe I've rejected, or I have put in a prison, or isolated, or not fully brought back into wholeness, and looking for that young inner child part, right? Even the parts that may even disgust me, or that I can't look at that, that's something I want to run away from. That's when I actually bring it back in. I mean, sometimes it can be as intense as it shows up as like a deformed fetus, that might have been aborted, that kind of level of like bringing that back into the heart, and knowing that too is God, that too is divine. Everything is divine. There is nothing in this world that actually is not divine. Everything is just a spectrum of alignment, right? So when something's out of alignment, like when we're out of alignment in our own spine, we go to a chiropractor, or we go to a healer, and we just come back into alignment. We just come back into wholeness. There's no right or wrong to that. There's just, there's something's distorted. We're witnessing a distortion. How can we bring coherence? How can we bring alignment? And we bring it by bringing it more into ourselves. And oftentimes, like when I'm feeling it really intensely, like you, Anistara, I was feeling that scream, that primal scream of like, this distortion is too intense for my body, my psyche. That's real. Like, let's not like spiritually bypass that. That is a real thing. And it's beautiful that you screamed it, because with the toning and musical practice, there's also the practice of just sounding what's alive and what's true. And it might come out messy sometimes, but just going into our body and feeling, where do I feel the pain? Where do I feel the overwhelm? Where do I feel the intensity? And like, give it a voice and start to move it through dance, through sound and the body, move it and send it as a prayer back down to the earth. Like we're composting it. The earth can take all of it. Like Celestine said, just bring it into the earth, but bring it into the earth as a prayer, as a dance, as a song. And know that by feeling it, we're moving it. We're part of the light workers that are metabolizing the distortion in the world by taking the time to be with it and feel it in its fullness and bring it back to the light, bring it back to wholeness. And, sometimes that can be hard to do when we're really, really overwhelmed. So another practice I have is actually just taking the time to do energetic hygiene, because we can absorb so much with all the technologies and all that's happening in the world. And I try not to get plugged into the news or any of that too much, because it really can get, filled up in our field. So a lot of my practices, again, like baseline practices, is daily clearing, so that we're coming from a place that's actually connected to our divine source, higher self. We're not coming from a reaction from a distorted place we haven't healed yet. Like, it's really important for us to really cultivate self-awareness and a stewardship of our consciousness. And that takes daily, moment-to-moment practices. And for me, salt baths. Like, I constantly, I'm like in the bath with all the mineral salts, with all of the rose petals, with all the herbs. And I'm just like giving it back to the water. It's like, we bless the water, but also let the water bless us. Let the water clear us. Let the water, cleanse us in our field. And so quickly, no matter what's happening, I get out of the bath and I feel reborn. I feel literally like I've just rebirthed myself. And all of the cells in my being have reconfigured to a crystalline wholeness. So that, people use sage, Palo Santo, whatever works for you. But even just a practice of shaking the body. So again, I've overcome a lot of trauma in my life and have supported others to overcome it. Trauma gets stuck in the body, in the tissues, in our emotional field. And one way to release the overwhelm or release the parts of us that are resonating with what's distorted is to shake the body. Yeah. Right. So bounce. Animals do it. Exactly. Yeah. Animals do it. Animals don't. Humans are the only beings that hold trauma. Do you believe that? Because animals instantaneously shake it off. They just shake it off. Like, oh, that's not me. Let me just shake it off. Right. So we've forgotten how to do that. It's part of our actual primal gift, right? We talk about indigenous practices. We have these animal spirit guides and animal primal nature that also is not, it's not just the lower self, it's actually our human self that we need to tap into and also steward. We steward the higher chakras and the consciousness, and we have to steward this body. So shaking it out. I like to do it for at least 10 minutes, but even just a few minutes just like really kind of releases, and then you can tune back into the heart. Whenever I do all these clearing practices, it's like, okay, so then now take a deep breath in. This too shall pass.
Yes.
This too shall pass. What is actually true here? And ask that question to the higher self. And that is when the expanded consciousness comes in and shows you the wheel of karma, shows you the blessing behind the curses, like shows you there's more to the story. And we can have compassion for it. And the more we have compassion for it, the quicker it dissolves and moves and that upward spiral of evolution into its new form, into tuning to the timeline where it no longer exists. Just like releasing the trauma and the clearing, we do it and it moves. So that's, and there's always obviously more advanced practices and attunements and things we'll share from my time in Egypt. But I just feel like if we don't do the baseline, and we're not stewarding our consciousness, and we're not saying, where am I coming from? Then without even wanting to, we might actually be perpetuating what's happening in the world that we're not liking to seeing. So this is the biggest thing. Ask yourself, where am I coming from? Yeah. What's actually speaking right now? Oh, it's that hurt part in me. How can I tend that? How can I tend that? And then how can I be of service? So thank you so much.
Thank you, honey. I really appreciate it.
Wow.
You know, I was at a beautiful goddess circle at Deborah Drewski's house. We're meeting locally now. And one of the elders there shared the book, The Bringers of the Dawn by Barbara Marciniak. And I've never read it before, and I can't put it down at this point. It is just so potent and pungent. And I mean, it's literally like, it was written over 20 years ago, and it is so applicable to this time right here, right now. And so I invite you, if you haven't read it yet, or even if you have, to reread it, because it is just, it's so on point. So I want to wrap up our time here, because we're gonna really dive into all this juiciness during the mastermind, and even do some of the toning and the light language, and really creating activations together, and with Jennifer Ashira Ra. And there is one practice that I wanted to mention, because it was brought up during our 4422 mastermind, and Michelle Anderson really presenced the fact that when you wake up, upon awakening, say your blessing or your prayer or what you're inviting in that day. And I don't remember it verbatim, but I've been doing it ever since. And I kind of already did it, but I really do it as a practice now. Like, as I'm opening my eyes and coming back into my body, and just say, I am a multidimensional being of light here in a human body in this 3D matrix, to do the work and to be in service to humanity. Please bring me any of the synchronicities and signs that I am inviting in, to guide me on my path to awakening, so I can live in the highest frequency and serve for the highest and best good for all. And you know, it's essentially how I start my day now. And so that's one way of like really initiating each and every day, because each and every day is a new day to start fresh, and again, to always come back to the heart. Forgive yourself first. That's the biggest thing. I have literally gone through the gamut of like, what do I need to release and forgive myself for? Right?
Yes,
I have been the
sister.
dark cat. I have been the politician. I have been the murderer in past lives. I have experienced all of those embodiments, so that I can be someone who is standing in the light and self-sovereignty in this lifetime. And so, it's a big deal right now.
Anistara, you're inspiring me right now, because one of the things that I think would be beautiful to close, if you'd be willing, to actually do the Ho'oponopono practice, to actually lead, you know, a sort of upgraded version of that, because it is true. Like, how can we really, throughout timelines, space and time, find the alchemy of forgiveness to unlock the energy that gets caught up in this world? Awesome. Can we do that?
Love that. Yeah, let's quickly go through our announcements, so that people can really tap in. And those of you who are feeling called to come to the mastermind, the link is in the comments below, and our beautiful Brielle is going to pop up our event page here. You'll see the graphic at the top with the 4 speakers. This is an Eventbrite page, and so you just want to click the green ticket button, and that will take you to our donation page. And so all of your donations go to our 501c3 Transdimensional Illumination, co-creating multidimensional experiences for our awakening. And so, of course, as much as you can give is appreciated. You could give as little as $1 and up to $1,000 or $11.11. But our suggested donation is $22.22, and we so appreciate it. And then you just hit checkout. And once you hit checkout, you fill out your form, and you'll receive an email from Eventbrite confirming your participation, and then you'll receive another one the day of with the Zoom login. So that's that. And ladies, if you could share your URLs for a moment, and then we'll close with Ho'oponopono.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Celestine, tell us how people can get a hold of you.
So you can get a hold of me by my name, CelestineStar.com, but we also have Golden Life Wisdom. There you can also go down, and you scroll down to the bottom, you can get an ebook on how to manifest. It's called Golden Life Wisdom, the meditation on manifestation, and get started with envisioning our new world. We need you. And finally, the newlivingexpo.com. I'll be speaking there on May the 6th and it goes from the 6th through the 8th. And I don't know if you have the galacticearthcouncil.com. I think yes, there it is.
There it is.
And if you're into the interstellars, we welcome you to come. We have lots of things going on. Star Watch, Skywatch coming in on 2/2, and lots of good things to share with you with the galactic. So that's me.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Wow, so many offerings. For me, you can reach me at luminousstories.com. It has all the connection points to work with me personally, to also the projects and film projects and communities and collectives I'm forming in that space of conscious media. And also, I'm excited to announce, I haven't spoken about this publicly yet, but I'm going to be launching very soon a Temple of Light Academy. It's a Jedi Priestess Magi training school with a lot of advanced practices, and we'll be sharing some of what we're going to be teaching in the school in the Mastermind. It's going to be super priceless, really beautiful practices. So that will be launched with a website later in May. But in the comments, I'll put a way that you can contact and become, kind of on the WhatsApp group that I'm forming, which is called Temple of Light, the Temple of Light Gateway. So you can get the latest announcements to the launch when the gates open of the temple. So looking forward to that.
Awesome. Wonderful. And I did want to throw one more thing in because it's happening tomorrow. So for those of you who have watched this video on the day that it was filmed, tomorrow, April 15th, I will be presenting 1111, A Path to Our Awakening at the Portal to Ascension Summit. I'm actually the opening speaker for the whole weekend. I'm so excited. I'm on the same bill as Bruce Lipton and Laura Eisenhower and Elizabeth April. And so this is a dream come true for me. And so you'll be able to find the comments below. But that's at 10 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, April 15th. So go ahead and go to portal2ascension.org. The link is in the comments. And again, everyone, please let us know how you're doing. Let us know. Like your comments will your comments will give us feedback, or feed forward, I should say, on some of the tools that we want to bring to the mastermind, right? So let us know where you're at and invite us into your reality and let us know. So again, there will be a free replay for all the registrants, and here are my tags: 1111 Unified and Anistara 1111. Okay, let's go into that Ho'oponopono, right?
Yes. And I'm going to do a version of this Ho'oponopono that was created for collective clearing, specifically collective clearing. All right, so let's just take a moment, tune in, take a deep breath in. And together, call in the highest coherence. I and all that I am.
I and all the I am.
Call in the highest and purest good of the divine.
Call in the highest
and purest form of the divine.
To upgrade all agreements that have been made.
To upgrade
all the agreements,
that have been made.
In all timelines, dimensions, and realms.
In all times, dimensions,
and realms.
To their current, wholest, and most divinely aligned potential.
To their current
wholest, and most divine.
Divinely aligned potential.
Divinely aligned potential. Thank you.
I am grateful.
I'm grateful
for the work that we have done together.
For the work that we have done together.
All beings in all dimensions.
All beings in all dimensions.
I thank you for your presence.
Thank you for your presence.
I ask for your forgiveness.
I ask for your forgiveness.
As I forgive you.
As I forgive you.
Of any pain caused between us.
Of any pain caused between us.
As I forgive myself.
as
As
I forgive
forgive myself.
myself.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Please.
sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please
Please
forgive
forgive
me.
me.
Thank you. Whew.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yes. And sending that out into the unified
Woo,
field.
to all of you.
All of you can feel that. We love you so much,
Thank you,
family.
Maya.
Soul Tribe,
Thank you
family
so
of
much.
light, stand
Yay.
strong in your sovereignty. We are here doing the work together. Let's support
Uh-huh.
one another in the best way that we can for the highest and best good for all.
Mhm.
Have
Thank
a beautiful,
you.
blessed day.
Thank you. Bless you, sisters, and bless you all.
Blessings, blessings, glory in the light of the radiant one.
Blessings.
Blessings.
Blessings. Yes.
Blessings.
Blessings. Blessings. We're
The
upgrading our language.
blessings of the day.
In the harmonic
Take care,
divine.
everyone. Yes, the divine harmonics.
Mm.